Alright, welcome back to Mountain Men Axes, and today we are going to finish hanging our Barco USA Forest Service Supply axe head on this 24-inch Whiskey River pack axe handle. And so in doing this, we've already got it started here. We're just going to continue it down. I do need to probably lengthen that kerf cut a little bit, but we'll get there when we get there. So starting off, we're just taking little by little away from the axe eye wood. So I like to use a spoke shave on some of this, well, on a lot of this, because I can start further down. I could use a rasp and just take this little bit of area, but it just is a longer process. Now, when it comes to handle shaping, I'm gonna definitely be using this new gift I got from Nate at Iron Ox Axe and Tool. Speaking of which, my heart goes out to Iron Axe and Tool. It looks like he posted a video or a community picture that shows he was using a double bit axe and it glanced off the tree and then ended up in his foot. It doesn't look like he was wearing steel toes, but at the same time, the cut is above the steel toe. The cut is right here at the top of his foot, so I don't know how much that would have helped, to be honest. So my heart does go out to him, and I hope he gets a speedy recovery. I'll be sending prayers his way. That's a really tough injury to sustain especially right during Christmas, right near Christmas time. So prayers will be to him and his family. But yeah, it apparently, I think what he had said is fractured the bone there, severed an artery, and done some pretty substantial damage to his foot. So that's just a bummer to hear anybody go down in the axe community, axe or vintage tool community. Anything that I can do to help, if he does see this video, let me know. But you can see him having trouble there, and it's kind of just wanting to grab and skirt. It's because this is heartwood. You can see this heartwood vein that runs through the handle. And it's really not fun to try to spoke shave or draw knife heartwood. So I am gonna just take a Shinto rasp to that and kind of watch my pattern, make sure I'm not digging in anywhere that I don't want to dig in more than I want to dig in. I don't want to have any gaps on this particular axe. I want this one to be pretty spot on. It's going to take a little bit longer because of that. The process is going to take a little bit longer, but I'm willing to do that and spend the time necessary and needed on this axe head. This is a 2 1/4 pound boy's axe head. So, and I'm putting it on a 24-inch, like I said, Whiskey River pack axe handle. So, it is a little bit shorter handle than a 28-inch normal boy's axe. I would have loved to have, the Council Tool Boys axe, I really like the handle on. I'm a fan of that axe handle. So, I would have loved to have got one of those, but the ones you see on eBay, you can never be sure if it's actually a Council Tool replacement axe handle or not. And I wasn't really wanting to, I've gone down the road before of getting a Council Tool replacement handle, and the one I received wasn't top notch. It was for the 32-inch Jersey, and the handle I received was rough, man. The grain was bad, and it just had run out more than any other handle I own still to this day. So I wasn't really wanting to do that. So they had these on sale for Black Friday for like $28, which is still high, but it's something I wanted. See, I went against the grain there, and we've got some tear out. So if you look right there, you can see the tear out. Luckily, we're going to get that out, and that's not going to be an issue, but you got to be careful when using a spoke shave. It happens to everybody and anybody. Doesn't matter if it's Bastogne head. You can read the grain all you want. You can still get tear out. So you really got to be careful. I'm going to remove that because I know I'm going to be further down the head anyway, so. Now, there is the draw knife, so I can just use it if that starts happening. It just starts getting too flat and not wanting to grab. And I can feel it. Whenever it starts to grab, I can feel it either ease up or continue to rip. All right, so what I like to do is, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know that I like to just smooth it out a little bit with some sandpaper. With a draw knife, you do get a pretty clean finish, but on the opposite side, where I use that rasp, you're not going to get as clean of a finish. So we'll clean that up a little bit with some 60 grit sandpaper. All right, let's see what we get. Or you can use a cabinet card, so cabinet scraper. All right, let's check it. That's what I want. I want it to be kind of tough getting started. And now I want to line it up with the palm swell and then kind of go from there. So I've got it lined up with the palm swell where it's perfect. Now I just want to give it a few taps. Now here, boom. It's just bouncing back. I know I've reached the bottom. So I'm nice and straight. It looks like I'm beginning to get some curl right here and right here. So we could keep hammering on it, but you're going to damage your axe handle doing that. So we'll just pop it out. Beautiful. That is it. That is actually excellent. So that's what I want to see. I want to see rub marks all the way around it, where it's just holding the kerf shut almost, and I want a good tight fit, particularly on this axe, because I just love this little thing, man. You come to find, you know, when you're an axe head lover, that you love, you know, big 4-pound Grants vs. Brooks, Dayton patterns, 5 pounds Collins patterns, and they're great. They get a load of work done. But if you do not pace yourself, they will get you done. You will be done before it's over with. So also, the same applies with you know, the danger aspect of using a single edge or double edged tool. The heavier it is, the harder it is to control. I don't care who you are or how strong you are. I've been in the best shape of my life and lost control of an axe, so that happens regardless of how strong or in shape you are. Back on that heartwood side, I'm going to add, so but I know I need to remove all this material. That eye on that axe is really done well, and it's not really uneven or anything, so I know where I need to remove material. So we'll get there most of the way with the spoke shave, and then I'll probably rasp it in again. I'm just dumping out the material out of the spoke shave. So in the comments, I want you guys to reply if you own a FSS axe. Maybe it's a Council Tool Boys axe, one of the Council Tool produced FSS, but I just have always wanted a Forest Service axe, and not in a Pulaski form. They're all over in a Pulaski form, but that wasn't really what I was looking for. So to find the Boys axe like that, really, I was excited. And to get it for a good price. I mean, I seen two of them were on eBay at the same time. One of them was in a little better shape than the other, and I just made the decision to get the one that was in better shape, and they actually took a lesser price than the other axe that was in worse shape. So the moral of the story is, if you wait long enough and you see it's on there long enough and nobody's buying it, and it's, let's say, for example, I'll say the price, they wanted, I think, $69 for that, and ended up taking $50. So I think I paid $57 because shipping was $7.99, $57. Somehow I ended up under $60 after it got shipped, so I was happy. Which is it's still a lot for an axe head, but if you went on Whiskey River Auctions and you bought the Council Tool Forest Service axe, it went well over $100. This is a lot more rare. I don't see these around. I've seen two of them, and they were both on eBay. And so apparently produced by Kelly Axe and Tool Works, so that's pretty awesome. That's a super find for me, and I was jumping on it. So at that price, yeah, I'm gonna get it. And I hope that when my daughter gets old enough that she'll enjoy it, because this is, going to be about the size axe that I think she's going to use. Obviously, I'm not going to start her on this axe because I don't want her to get destroyed. Anybody that knows much about axes knows that that first axe you use kind of does get destroyed. You either hit the concrete or into the dirt, whatever the case may be. So this ain't going to be her first axe, that's for sure. She already has a little Collins up there that she uses. Which shout out to Mike Normandy, who likes the Collins, those things, which I've got several Collins jersey patterns and other Collins patterns that I'd be willing to trade, part with for a plum. Nate, Ryan, Mike, I think all you guys know at this point that, and everybody that is a viewer knows that I'm a plum fan. Got that one spot right there. It's still a high spot that's not catching. So we're just going to take a draw knife and hit it. I'm starting lower because I know that that's where it needs to go. I know the trajectory of the axe and where it's going to go. This is going to be, like I said at the beginning, it's going to be a slow process, but, and I'm not going to edit anything out. but you'll get to see the whole process. If you guys want to see what the new Whiskey River pack axe looks like, so it is nice. I like it. It's not too curvy. This will get cut off at the end, but for mounting purposes, for mounting the axe head, that's perfect. So I like it. It's about perfect for small two-hand. You look like that, you grab the top of the axe, it's about right. You can take it, swing it, have full control. So yeah, I like it. It is a good product for sure. I'm glad they came out with it. There's a spot in the market, right, for this handle. Now, at my local flea market, they actually have a handle similar to that already. I mean, not much difference other than the palm swell is already cut. I mean, this is the same axe handle, literally. Let's see here. I mean, you've got a little subtle difference, but $12, you know, and this has good grain orientation running through it too. So, all right, let's try it again. Remember, if it's tight when it gets started and you know you're gonna go down a little ways, make sure that that axe bit is lined up, because the last thing you want to do is send this thing down not lined up. Okay. Try to stay, boom, in the center. I come up with the handle to the hammer. We are dead straight, but the kerf is closed. So the back, we've got a little bit of catching. Under here, I know there's going to be a hair gap because the eye isn't perfect. There's a little bit of a lip that goes in. I could file out. You can do file work on it and file that out, but we'll leave that be for now. I don't want to mess with it too much. This thing's not made for boys' axes. It's made for full-size axes, but today it's going to be made for boys' axes. All right, full contact all the way around, exactly what we want. We are just going to continue the process. Now, here I could go ahead and just take it to where I know that I want it, which is like right here, you know, just a little proud, but I want to be conservative. Tear out. back to the rasp, because that's heartwood. Now, there's one of two ways you can go about smoothing this out. One, you can just take a cabinet scraper and we're back to smooth. Or you can sand it. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you do. Now, once I start getting far enough down to where I'm digging directly into the back of the axe eye, I will spend time just on the back of it. I will flip it to the back. Normally I hit it from the side if I can, but in this case, where I've seen that it was digging directly into the back, I do want to make sure I get that in a proper way and I don't take too much from one side. Once this is done, this is a thick handle, I will say that. For it being a pack axe, it's a thick handle. Okay, so I've learned my lesson on that. That's all it takes. Wood feels almost a little wet. I ought to get my moisture meter out here and check it, but I trust them. Okay, ready for another fit. Yep. All right, we're still dead straight. That kerf is starting to open up now that we're getting past that certain point. And that's looking good. Like I said, there is like a little spot on this axe. I don't know if it'll focus on it or not. Right there, that it has like a little dip in to the axe eye. And so yeah, I'm not filing it out. I could, but I don't think it's really worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. I'm getting a tight fit. Like that right there is a tight fit all the way around. I'm not gonna fiddle with it. Now I said I learned my lesson, but did I really? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the spoke shave is something that's newer to me than a draw knife. I've been using a draw knife a lot longer than I have a spoke shave. And so I've got the time behind a draw knife more so than a spoke shave. Woo! It's close. There's a lot of water in that. I can feel it. Kiln dried or not, I can feel it. I'll take it. I am going to turn it around because it dug in awfully deep back here. I don't want to do any damage to the back of the axe head and have a gap back there. That's in deep. That's got a lot of material to remove if I want to go to there or there. I'm probably not. Probably about my line right there. So. If any of you guys want to know or are interested in how to sharpen these, comment down below and I'll do a video on it. It's not terribly difficult, but there is a technique to it. Kind of going to be slow goes. That heartwood is not wanting to work with me. Over here, this side wasn't nearly as deep in as the other side because I've taken more down to here. I've removed more wood past that than I have on this heartwood side. This heartwood's, I can feel the difference. Alright, let's see if we can actually hit the top of the axe head. Okay. Yeah. Now, popping. Okay. So while that does look beautiful, I'm a little higher than I want it to be. I want the nose to be a little further down. And that did it. Now, I want as much length on this as I can get. I don't want to drive it. You know, I could set at the bottom of the shoulder here, but I really do want the length on this. I didn't want a 28, but this is perfect. So we'll pop it off, trim it up, set for the eye, and go from there. Okay. Now we could sand it, you know, and make it nice and perfect, but I want that front down a little more, so I'm going to take some more off the front here. There we go, working sideways again. for me to pop it up. I don't like it. That heartwood, man, it's like a heartwood knot right there. And it's dug in. Go like this, but you risk ripping up all of this and ruining your handle. So, in lieu of that, the best decision, the smartest decision, is to hit it with a rasp. And it's just nasty. That's as nasty as it gets. All right. Yeah, that's just, look at the difference here as here. Even when they spun it on the lathe, this side was bigger than this side because that material is so hard that they cannot do anything with it. Now, I could take and run it across the belt sander a few times or take the angle grinder to it, but I hate to do that because I'd have to do it to this whole side. And that's just what we're going to have to do. There's no, I mean, we're dead straight. And I mean, I could take that all day and just flatten it, but I don't know. I mean, we're perfect, but I mean, realistically, as wet as that wood feels, it's probably going to shrink anyway, and I'm going to have to set it down regardless, but I don't want to think like that. So I will say this, I'm not going to use glue. It's a nice cherry wedge. It's just a tad too small for the eye. It'd be nice if they made those not for hatchets, but for boys' axes, and could make them just big enough to fit a daggone boys' axe eye. That'd be super cool. But I'm complaining, so whatever. It is fine. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it says hatchet small axe. Okay. Well, this is a small axe. This is the pack axe handle, and it barely is big enough to fit inside that eye. And it was barely big enough to fit front and back before I started the project. So I can't use it. As much as I'd love to use it, I can't. It will not fill the eye out. So for the U.S. Forest Service axe, we will I don't know. Walnut? Walnut would be pretty. But without glue, walnut, there's a chance that it does not stay in there. I don't feel right about it. So for one, I took away too much material above it, which is fine, I can wedge it, but I just don't feel right about this. That shelf is the only thing stopping it, and I'm on a shelf. There's no doubt about it. This side will continue to come down, but this is a shelf, and it's got to go. I warned you guys that it may be a long video, that I was going to be a little OCD about it. We're getting there. Oh yeah, now we're looking right. We're there. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, who are first-time watchers, if you've made it this far, which would be a miracle, I ran a grinder for 15 years, so angle grinder, so I'm pretty familiar. I suggest wearing eye pro and ear pro when running those things, and don't have any loose clothing, but I'm pretty familiar with what I'm doing on that. But yeah, that is much better right there than what it was. I can hand sand the rest in, but that's doable now. So now let's see what we can do with a little spoke shave. That's one reason I like the spoke shave, is it won't let you take off more material than you need to, because you've got that lip. You're on the most material. This is the lesser material. And generally, if you stay on the most side, you won't take your lesser, but I mean, it can happen. That, me taking too much material was from the spoke shave. Or not the spoke shave, the Shinto rasp. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you can't do it, like I've learned to this point that I've hung axes that I wish I wouldn't have hung. Then I'm like, man, I wish I just I would have waited. For example, the Buck and Billy Ray, I've shown it before. The Buck and Special axe handle with the Belknap Bluegrass jersey with bevels, like that is a superior axe with a nice axe handle. And I couldn't get it right. I was frustrated that night, and I just kept working on it, instead of just taking a break and doing something else for a little bit, maybe even a day or two, and just walking away from it. That's the best thing to do, is walk away from it and come back to it. Now you're going to watch this axe head just go boom and sink as far as it can. Yeah, it's much easier now that I'm not on a giant lip. I actually need to sharpen this card. As I said that, I need to sharpen this one. Yeah, that thing's gonna sink. But before I sink it, I need to open up that kerf a little bit. Come on, baby, work with me, please. No. Okay. Enough joking around. Measure twice, cut once. There's not really anything I've found secret-wise that likes to cut walnut. Or on how to cut these wedges other than maybe stack the wedges in there. Okay, so got our wedge cut. Now okay then, that's staying. We have a good fit at the bottom. It's a tapered fit like it should be, and it's not jamming up on a shelf. And now it is time to wedge. I'm not going to glue it, but at the same time, you know, it's because I think that handle's still a little wet. So. That's all she's got. She's cracking. The wood's popping. That thing ain't going nowhere. But now we got to cut it. And this, you don't want to use those shears that I use. You want to use something like a back saw, possibly. You also don't want all your axes to fall on your head. I keep that little piece of walnut to use on other projects. While we're here, this is it's something cool I picked up at the flea market this weekend. Is a 1989 still in the box X-Acto knife, which I am now a proud owner of. I could feel get a little off course with that back saw up top, so. There's actually a few options, but that thing is splayed out. All right, well, we're gonna have to normally I don't do that, but we're gonna have to take I'm glad the wedge filled out the handle. I mean, I'm happy about that. Easy user. I don't have anything in here to chop, but what we will do, and I just messed up the whole trajectory of it. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.